Hello, Christina, are you there?
I am here.
And you're the host now. Please feel free to
Okay.
make me co-host
I
so
will.
I can assist the participants accordingly. Yes,
Awesome. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yay. I love this time of the day. Nice. Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
How's everyone feeling today? Thankful Thursday. Laura, I love that shirt. It's a good one. It's a good one. Hi, Kathy. How are you? So happy you're here. Oh, you're muted. You want to unmute yourself? You can tap onto that little red microphone.
Got
Yes.
it. Got it. Yep. Yeah, I'm all set to do this. I've never done yoga by myself at home, but it's the first time for everything. I'm excited.
Okay, this is an awesome class. This is yoga. We say it's for beginners, but it's really like for yoga techniques to keep us safe. So I will ask requests for poses that people are interested in knowing more about, interested in knowing more about them in their bodies. So think about poses that you're interested in, and we can cover those. Yeah, hi Peg, welcome back. Yay, so happy you're here. You're muted.
I'm scared because I've never done yoga before. I'm 76 years old. I've never done yoga. So
we're never too old for anything. Okay. Listen, this is a great class because we talk about yoga, we talk about safety, we talk about modifications, we talk about yoga props. It's a great class to just kind of dip your toes in and get comfortable in. But I'm glad you told me that. Hi, Angela and Virginia and Dania and Babette's here. Yay. Hi, Virginia. Nice to see you. Hi, Kelly. All right. Everyone is popping in. So I will share my screen. Here we go. Okay. I'm Christina, your guide for today. I am certified yoga, meditation, and spin instructor with all of that stuff as my background. I am truly passionate about living the healthiest lives we can, being the best and strongest versions of who we were born to be, and living an authentic life. And I believe that moving our bodies, breathing deeply and mindfully, and practicing in a community with support, inspiration, and motivation are keys to get us there. So that's why I do what I do. I love doing it with all of you, and I love doing it on this Get Set Up platform. So thank you for being here. Today's class is yoga for beginners, and I love the idea of Babette gave this to us, yoga techniques versus yoga for beginners, because this is for people who have been even practicing yoga for decades, and we just want to learn how to own that pose in our body, right? A pose can look so different. One pose can look so different in everybody's body. It's incredible. And to come to an understanding of that and to let go of any competitiveness, like, oh, or a negative thought like, oh, I can't look like that, my body won't do that, I'm too old, I'm too whatever we say to ourselves, right? All those negative things that we say. Here in this class, we just let that go on the mat, whatever class we're in, we just let it go, because when you're on your mat and when you're living your life right off the mat, we want to feel empowered. We want to feel comfortable in who we are. We want to feel confident, and we want to be clear, right? We want to be clear on every every foot we place on the mat and off the mat. So that's what we practice here in yoga for beginners, but it's really yoga for technique. And I'm going to work on changing that soon. So here we work on safety. Everyone who takes my class knows that I am all about safety. I have been practicing teaching virtual yoga since the second week of, I thought it was the third week, but it's the second week of March when the lockdown happened here in California. Oh yeah, I'm from Long Beach, California. And I got a big screen TV and I can see everyone. And it's really helped me keep people safe. So if you're comfortable having your cameras on, awesome. We will practice a pranayama technique, a breathing technique, because I believe that before we even move our bodies on the mat, we need to ground into the present moment and into our body so we can be mindful when we're moving in anything really, right? In on and off the mat. Yeah, we just break down poses and we figure out the cues and the modifications that work for your body. So, like I said, we learn from each other here. It's an amazing opportunity. Having your cameras on is truly ideal. It does really help me help you. If you're not comfortable having your cameras on, that's okay too. We just all have to be, especially this class is so interactive. You are welcome to unmute yourself and ask me any questions at all. I bring my camera down on the mat, like we get up close and personal here. So everybody has a profound understanding of what they're doing when they're on the mat. We are live streaming. So everyone say hi, live streamers. Hey, live streamers. Next time, register for a class, join us live, and you can ask questions and do some of your favorite poses as well. And finally, Get Set Up does not get paid to promote any specific products. We have Anthony with us today. Anthony is our Get Set Up TA. Thank you, Anthony. I love Get Set Up. They provide us all the support we need to give our learners all the support they need. It's an incredible organization. So I'm so proud to be a part of it. Okay, so before we start, are there any medical issues I need to know about? Injuries, recovery from surgeries, back issues, shoulder issues, whatever. Anything that I need to know? Whoops, thank you, Anthony. Anything I need to know to keep you safe? Anybody, yes, Kathy, I'm sorry, you can unmute yourself again. Can you unmute yourself? Sorry about that.
Left knee torn meniscus surgery, not quite a year ago, but I've made a really good recovery.
Okay, great, great. And things that you do you walk? What do you do for movement? You walk?
I walk and I garden. I walk and I garden right now. The knee is good. The knee is good. So I'm happy with how it's come out. Good.
Gardening, right? It's hard work. It is hard work. I have a garden and I have to give my husband, I teach so many classes a week. I told my husband, I'm like, you got to take over. I can't get in the garden. I mean, I do my little things to make things pretty and organized, but like the down and dirty stuff, I make him do now. But that's amazing. You garden. Awesome job. And walking. Great. Anyone else? Okay. Do we have anyone? So I know one first timer. Do we have anyone else first time yoga? Okay. Awesome. Do we have any requests for today? No requests? Wow, you're going to let me do it all on my own? I love taking your requests. I think I'd like to work on, because in classes like cardio yoga, we're working on, we're working more in planks. Nobody freak out about that word plank. It's okay. Well, there's modifications for every level for a plank. So I think I want to work on arm and wrist position on the mat, and we can kind of play with our plank and kind of a flow in and out of down dog and plank. Is everybody good with that? And if there is a pose as we're doing this, and there's a pose that you're like, oh, I was wondering about that, unmute yourself and ask me, and we'll be on it. So here, just get comfortable on your mat. Move the fleshy parts, however that looks for you. Move the fleshy parts away from the sits bones. Sit on a pillow or a blanket, elevating your glutes. It kind of takes the pressure off your hip flexors. That feels more comfortable sometimes. If your knees hang out up here, no worries. Put a pillow or a blanket here to kind of support them. This is called Tsukasana, easy pose. So let's find the easy in the pose. And then we'll place the palms on the thighs, face down. Just going to give them a little press, kind of ground into them, right? Connect. And right here, we do this in every single class I teach. Even when I teach, I'm a spin teacher, and even on a spin bike, this is a cue that there's not a class I don't teach that I don't cue this. We sit up tall. We bring the navel in towards the spine. We begin to bring that tailbone towards the mat. So it's not overarching in our back, right? Because we overarch. I don't know about you, but I overarch in my back. So I always make sure my core is engaged. When we overarch in our back, we're tightening our back muscles, and we're stretching out our abs. So we want to engage the abs to support our lower back and not tighten our lower back. And then we begin to just roll the shoulders back and down. I know it's not so comfortable. I do know that, because we lean forward for everything we do for everybody in our world, right? But here on the mat, we just roll the shoulders back and down. And then we do a double chin back, bringing the neck in line with the spine. And then on our inhale, we'll lift the head gently off the neck, energetically, creating space between the ears and the shoulders. And close your eyes and just kind of feel that. Feel that sensation of length being created between your ears and your shoulders. Each inhale, gently lift the head off the neck. Each exhale, you roll the shoulders down and back, maintaining the length. And if it's comfortable, gently close the lips as well as the eyes, connecting to our Ujjayi breath. Nostril breathing. That slight constriction in the back of the throat creates like an audible wave-like sound. Let that vibration just happen. See if you can keep lifting taller. Keep relaxing the shoulders. And then feel the rise and fall of the body with each breath cycle, bringing awareness to your body movements, to your breath. Feel all the compartments, right? As we inhale, the chest rises, the lungs expand, the ribs push out, and the belly comes out. And then on that exhale, the belly slowly begins to come in, the rib cage drops, the chest falls, and we have that exhale through the nose. And as you sit here, just noticing your body, the breath in the body, the space in your torso, right? From sitting up tall, right? All those organs are getting a lot more room. There's space between your vertebrae. And we are breathing deeply. Just from this act right here, right? Somebody looks at us and they're just like, oh, look, they're just sitting, right? But what's happening here is so much goodness for your well-being. Like I said, creating space between each vertebra so that fluids and nutrients and blood can flow freely between and within our vertebra, right? From the brain all the way down to the body. There's space. Sitting up tall, we make space in our abdomen, creating space for our organs to work efficiently, right? When we sit all crunched up all the time, when we're forward, when our shoulders are shrugged and we're leaning forward, we're kind of squishing our internal organs. So we sit up. They're like, ooh, nice, thank you. They stretching out and working efficiently. That's my little inner dialogue for them. My internal organs say that. What do your internal organs say? Can you feel that? They feel that liberation, like crunch over, like sit all schlumpy. Like just practice it, right? Like sit all schlumpy, right? This is literally how we could sit, right? I'm not even exaggerating. And like on our phones, even though we're not teenagers, it's not that we still don't do this, right? And then feel how crunched up your stomach is. Feel the shoulders and feel that neck. Close your eyes and feel the pressure that's on your neck that we do not realize throughout the day. And now slowly, with your eyes closed, so slowly begin to stack one vertebra at a time on top of each other as you grow tall, and feel it. And then roll the shoulders and bring the neck in line with the spine and lift the head off the neck. Everybody feel that profound difference? If I was ever to give yoga homework, and I say this all the time in class, this would be it. To mindfully sit or stand in tallness. This will help you live a long, healthy life. This simple act that all we need to do is remember to stack the joints, roll the shoulders back. Can everybody feel the stretch in their chest when they roll the shoulders back and down? So you're bringing those shoulder blades in together, right? So we're building the muscles in our shoulders, around our shoulder blades, right? And we're stretching out our chest muscles, because what happens is when we sit schlumpy, that's my word for the day, schlumpy, we are overstretching our back muscles, making them weak, and we are tightening our chest muscles. So here, when we sit up tall, we're counteracting that. Take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale it out the mouth. Gently blink, open your eyes, and just kind of feel the sensation. How do you feel from just a few moments ago? Getting on the mat, sitting, how do you feel? Do you feel more grounded? Do you feel a little bit lighter? Just notice your feeling, how you feel. Another thing I want to disclose is that this act of sitting up tall or standing tall, doing this on a regular basis, will actually help you. I have gained a 1/2 inch in height. So I don't know if it's going to help you gain any height, but it will help you from losing height. So I don't know if anybody's lost height yet in their world. I know a lot of people who have. So I say, let's try to just prevent that by keep stacking our joints and keeping them strong. Okay, that's good. We're good. All right. I love that. That is so therapeutic. And another thing too about what we just did, just taking a moment, like if something is happening in your life and you're stressed out, angry, frustrated, right? The computer isn't working. I don't know, whatever it is, right? an animal ate our plants in the garden. That's so maddening, right? And we get like, right. And when we do that, when we get frustrated, when we get angry, when we get stressed, when we get anxietal, our body, our muscles start to like tighten, right? It's protecting ourselves. We're like guarding up. But when we sit in tallness and close our eyes and breathe, like knowing that we got ourselves, right? We're safe. We are safe within ourselves. We breathe deeply. We tap into that parasympathetic nervous system and calm us down, right? Relax, take us out of fight and flight, and just enjoy that feeling of our bodies. Does that make sense? Okay. Are we ready? I'm going to bring the computer closer so we can really work on our hands. Okay, but as I'm talking about this, does anybody have anything they'd like to add? Any questions they have about this? It's seemingly simple act. Kathy, great modification in your seat. Awesome job. Good job. Like I said, I didn't say this today, but I am your guide for this class, but you are the guide for your body, right? Ultimately, you live in your body, you know your body. So Kathy, I'm so happy you made that modification for your seat. So everybody, if I cue something and you're like, no, that doesn't work for my body, unmute yourself, ask me, or you know your body and make the modification that feels good for you. All right, any questions before we move on to tabletop and cat and cow? So Kathy, we're coming onto our knees. Oh yes, Linda, hi.
Hi. I found I could only sit in that position a short period of time. So I ended up laying down and did the corpse pose.
Great. Perfect.
I had to modify it.
Yes, because in corpse pose, you can still get that length.
Right. And I raised my hands above so that my rib cage was lifted.
Good. So I have a question though. Did you try to sit on a pillow or a blanket to elevate your glutes?
I think it was actually my head that was tired.
Oh, okay.
I think it was my head that was tired.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Although I do have a pillow right beside me here.
Okay.
So,
okay. Thank you for sharing that.
From the class, but I found I had to lay down.
Good. Take care of yourself always. But really, because sometimes sitting in the Tsukasana, the easy pose, doesn't feel so easy, it can put pressure on your hip flexors. So sitting on a pillow or a blanket, elevating your glutes, taking the pressure off your hip flexors makes the world of difference. And also, if I don't call it out before you need it, you can switch the crossing of your legs. That also helps.
I have this pillow.
Okay, great.
So I've got one.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no, Linda, thank you. Kathy, did you have something to ask?
No, I was just going to comment that for me, it's the hips. I have very tight hips. So I can sit like this for a certain amount of time, but when I'm looking for relaxation, it's not coming from here. It's just not coming from here. Right. And I'm way better to put my legs out like this to get relaxed.
Yes. But have you tried sitting on a little bench or a pillow or a blanket? That's like a game changer.
I'm going to go get one.
It is a super game changer. Like tomorrow, I'm teaching a spin class later. My hip flexors are going to be tight, and I will probably sit on a pillow tomorrow, or maybe later today in my classes. I teach 2 classes after spin, so I will probably sit on a pillow because my hip flexors will be tight. And you can even sit on 2 pillows or 3 pillows to elevate your glutes. Okay, I'm taking the camera. We're getting up close and personal. So we will start out. I'm going to take off my shirt so you can see my hands really clear. So when I say we come into tabletop, I love this pose so much. So tabletop is where we stack our joints. Everybody just watch me. Well, everybody who knows tabletop, who does this with me all the time, you can go into it. But those of you who are here with us for the first time, we stack our joints. So that means the wrist creases are either directly under the shoulders or a little bit in front of the shoulders. So let me lower my thing. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Everybody can see me. Okay. So we got that, right? This happens a lot. See how my shoulders are over my wrists? I'm over bending my wrist. And over time, that will cause issues in our wrists. So another thing is that there's common, we have our hands out like this, or we have them in. You see that? Can everybody see that well? So I always cue wrist creases. That wrist crease is a number 1. This mat is the number 1, and together they make the number 11. And then you push between your hands are spread wide. You push between the thumb and the index finger so you don't roll out to the outside of your hand where all of the nerves are. And then look at my elbows for a minute. So if my elbows are out here, you see how they're bent here? I have no stability anywhere. My elbows are compromised, my wrists are compromised, and my shoulders already hurt. So I will say, roll those inner elbows forward and feel the difference. Press between the thumb and the index finger a little bit more. Rotate those inner elbows and roll the shoulders away from the ears. Bring the neck in line with the spine. We never hang our heads or look up. Our head weighs, I don't know, what does it weigh? 13 to 15 pounds. So taking your head, hanging it, or looking up, that's a lot of pressure on our neck. Okay. So, and then look at my knees. This is also a common misalignment. So see how my knees are under or a little bit behind my hips and their hip distance. There are times that people have their knees under their belly. You see how short my torso is right now? Oh, that feels so weird. So make sure that your knees are under or a little bit behind. So you have length in your torso, right? Like when you're sitting up and you create that length, that's what we're doing in tabletop. Take a deep inhale. Exhale it out the mouth. Bring the navel in towards the spine and shrink your waist right here. Take a deep inhale, slowly drop the belly, lift the tailbone, the heart, and the gaze, and look up. This is cow pose. Roll the shoulders back and down. Keep those inner elbows reaching forward. I don't know about you, but my elbows always want to go out to the side. So I have to mindfully rotate them forward. We take an inhale, we breathe. And when we exhale, we begin to tuck the tailbone, dome out those shoulders by hollowing out the belly and tucking the chin. This is our cat pose. Press up between the thumb and the index finger, creating length in that arm. Feeling the doming of the shoulder blades, hollowing out that belly. Use your core to shrink your waist. Take an inhale. Slowly come through tabletop into your cow pose. And then everybody move through that. Close your eyes and move through your cat and cow at your own pace. Allow it to become a moving meditation. This sequence is so important. I use it in almost every single yoga class I teach because not only are we creating strength in our core muscles, we're strengthening our organs, our internal organs. We're strengthening our arms. We're strengthening the muscles that support our spine. We're creating mobility and flexibility in our spinal, in our vertebra. And then we'll pause here. So we're going to pause in our tabletop. Actually, let's sit on our feet if we can, or come off and then roll our wrists. I always like to roll our wrists. Come sit in a comfortable way. We're always taking care of our wrists. So we're going to play with our tabletop, and then we're going to play with our going into our down dog. And down dog isn't for everyone. So I just want to show you. So from here, for those of you who are with us for the first time, getting back into yoga, we're in our tabletop. We're nice and strong. Core is engaged. Bring that navel in towards the spine. You see how I can just be like kind of in a modified cow pose? I want my core engaged. My back is flat. From here, when we go into down dog, we make sure our positions, our arm positions is good. We tuck our toes and we exhale. We begin to lift the knees off the mat, push the thumbs and the fingers and push the chest towards the thighs as we lift the tailbone up. We rotate those inner arms forward towards the face, and then we'll pedal it out. We engage those quads. We keep pushing the cushions of the fingertips, pushing the shoulders away from the ears, pushing the chest closer to the thighs. Okay. Now, down dog isn't for everyone. So for those of you who don't go into down dog, that's okay. You're going to get the benefits from this pose. You stay in tabletop, you engage all your core. And when we're in down dog pedaling it out, you're in tabletop shifting side to side with core engagement, getting the same benefit as we're getting in down dog without compromising anything in your body. Okay. So from here, we'll start. Okay, one more thing. I want to do one more thing. So from down dog, if you are in down dog, we're down dog. This is where we really see if our tabletop and our down dog is wide enough, because we'll call an inhale and we'll slowly move the shoulders over the wrists, coming into our plank. So just like tabletop, the shoulders are directly over or behind the wrists. Always an option to drop the knees. So if you're in tabletop and we're in down dog, and some of you are in down dog, and I call for plank, everyone in tabletop brings their legs back, drops their knees, and then shifts forward. So you might have to walk your shoulders forward. So you come here and you rotate those inner elbows forward. So everyone, there is something for everyone. And if your wrists bother you, always come onto the elbows, always. You can be in tabletop in on your forearms. You can be in plank on your forearms. Oh, and you can be in down dog on your forearms. This is called dolphin. We never do this in class because I know people have shoulder health issues. Okay, so questions. Susan, your plank looks amazing. Bye, Deborah. Thank you. Any questions about plank, coming into plank from, so Kathy, that actually looks great. You know what I always say, if we were in class together and I was walking around making modifications, awesome plank, Laura. Imagine my palm between your shoulder blades and me pushing gently your chest towards your thighs a little bit more. So it takes a lot of arm strength. It takes a lot of shoulder stability. It's not for everyone. And maybe you just take it for 5 seconds and then come down, right? So you don't injure yourself. Like, you're always taking care of ourselves. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Would anybody like me to watch them move through that sequence to make modifications or cues? Okay, no questions about that. It's hard to hold a plank, right? Even with the knees down. It's a full body workout. Your toes, your fingers, it's a full body workout. All right. I want to work on one more thing that we do in class a lot. Oh, good old sun salutations. All right. So come up, we're in mountain pose. So we stand tall, just like we did when we were seated. We lengthen the spine. We bring the tailbone towards the mat, and then pivot onto the heel, onto the ball of one foot, and put the heel into the arch of the other. That is hip distance. So when we call mountain pose, that's where we come up. The palms are forward. We're always giving our shoulders an internal rotation, and we grow tall. Lift the head off the neck, gently push the shoulders back and down. Linda, how's your neck feel standing here in mountain pose? I'm wondering about that.
Feels good.
Okay. And then, so doing these exercises, roll, like double chinning back, bringing the neck in line with the spine and lifting the head off the neck, you're actually creating stronger muscles in your neck to support your head. So it'll feel, that should help. And just close your eyes here. And on each inhale, imagine space being created between each vertebra. Make sure that tailbone is reaching towards the mat. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale it out the mouth. Gently blink open the eyes. We can stand in mountain pose doing dishes in the grocery store line. Like, mountain pose is accessible to us so much. When we're walking and we're waiting for our light to turn green, we can be in mountain pose. I highly recommend that we stand firmly on all four corners of our feet instead of bending into one knee and shooting one hip out. That is just not good for our hips. So try. I know it's not easy. We've been doing this our whole lives, right? Standing like this, like what? Or come on, right? But it will really help our anatomy. It'll help our hip strength, the balance of our muscles, right? If we stand on all four corners of the feet. So from here, we're going to work into a half sun salutation, and we're going to really be active in it. So we're in our mountain pose. We will inhale the arms up and overhead like a ball of energy. We're drawing up a ball of energy. That is a whole inhale. When we exhale, we bend those knees. We bring the glutes back. We have a flat back. The navel's in towards the spine. The neck is in line with the spine. We bring the arms out to a T. And with our core, we slowly begin to forward fold. That's a whole exhale. Once you're down, sway side to side. Shake your head yes and shake your head no. Have as much of a bend in those knees as you need. Pause in stillness in your forward fold. And when you inhale, I want you to bring the navel into the spine. I want you to lift with your quads and your core to bring you up to a half lift. So your half lift is like a tabletop. See how flat my back is, my shoulders away from my ears, and my neck is in line with my spine. The back is going along for the ride. This is core and thigh work right here. So we inhale, the gaze is down, and we exhale, we forward fold. We bend those knees. We bring the arms out to the side, engage the quads and the core. And again, this time we lift all the way up on the inhale. The quads and the core bring us all the way up, draw that energy up, and then exhale, prayer hands to heart center. Half sun salutation. Does anyone have any questions about that? We're going to work through a half sun salutation, a full one, slowly breaking it all down. And then we'll come into a forward fold. The second time we come down, a forward fold. Let me show you. We did this yesterday in cardio yoga. We're going to be doing this more because we're building strength here, right? So when we fold, we will plant the hands. We will bring the wrist creases in line with that mat, press between the thumb and the index finger. And then we step back, coming into a full plank or coming into a modified plank. And then we'll bring ourselves up and walk up and do that again. I want to make sure that we feel really confident about that and really good So, and we make the correct modifications here so that when you come to class, you can participate and feel good about what you're doing. Okay. I'm going to stand forward so I can see you. Have your feet hip distance. Mountain pose, ground. Engage those quads. Engage the inner thighs and engage that lowest part of your core. And then inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bend those knees, forward fold, flat back. Keep your gaze down. And then inhale, find that half lift, that flat back. Pause here for just a moment. I want you to get the hips over your ankles a little bit. So come on, bring the weight of your body onto your balls of your feet. It could kind of feel like you're going to fall over, right? But of course you won't. Take an inhale. Feel the engagement in your core and the stretch in your outer hips. Take an inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. Knees are bent, arms out to the side. Quads and core lift you up, flat back. Arms are out to the side. And then we exhale, prayer hands to heart center. Kathy, and everyone else too, our feet, have them be like they have skis on. So they just are straight. Our feet are also the number 11. Yes, awesome. That when we do that, right, we are protecting our joints here, our ankle joints, our knee joints, and we're taking care of our hips. Okay. Everybody feel good about that? Everybody I can see, everybody looks good. Keep your neck in line. Now that you're a little, we've done this a couple times, keep your neck in line with the spine so you're not looking up at the screen. So we're here, we're inhaling the arms up and overhead, drawing that big ball of energy in. And then exhale, bend those knees, glutes back, begin to forward fold. Release the lower back when you fold, and then inhale, come into that powerful half lift. So strong. Exhale, plant the hands, wrist creases in line with the mat. Step the left foot back, step the right foot back, either stay in your full plank or come down with the knees on the mat. You're still getting the benefits. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale. If you are on your knees, just come up, walk the feet up to the hands. If you're in plank, down dog, and then walk your feet to the hands. Sway side to side once you get there. Shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Pause in stillness. Inhale, find your half lifts. Exhale, forward fold, knees are bent, arms out to the side. Inhale, rise. Yes. And exhale, prayer hands to heart center. All right. Did anyone have any questions about that sequence? That sequence is not easy, but man, it'll help us build strength. It will, whether you stay in with your knees down, there's no judgment about that, right? You have your knees down because that's where you're at, right? That's it. We have to be okay with where we're at. Have your knees down, stay in plank, make sure you have the form, right? Make sure you have those inner elbows forward. You're pressing between the thumb and the index finger. Did everybody feel confident in those movements? Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question. When we come up to after our salutation, the last bit of straightening, I feel it in my low back.
That's more core. Engage the core more. Engage the core more and have a little bit more, maybe a little bit more bend in your knees and activate those quads and inner thighs.
Okay.
Yeah. We never want to feel it in the lower back. Never. We always want to support the lower back with our core and our quads and our inner thighs. Thank you, Rosemary, for sharing that with me. Thank you. Anyone else? We feel good. Yes, Kathy.
Wrists. I mean, I am massively overweight, and I think that it's too much for my wrists to put all this weight on it. Can I modify by using, put fists or something like that, or
No.
being up on?
So being on your elbows. Here I am in a modified plank on my elbows. So my elbows are right underneath my shoulders.
Okay,
can
but
be in
how
a
do
full-
I get to that from a downward? How do you get to that from a downward dog? Because you're on your
Okay.
hands to do your.
Good, awesome question. I love these questions. Okay, so look, you can probably be in tabletop. Yes, have your hands out further so the
Okay.
creases are lessened, right? So we're here. This is
Okay.
going to be your tabletop. Your tabletop, you're going to be out more to lessen the crease. And then when we're going into plank or down dog, you come onto the elbows. You shift the hips down, walk the elbows up maybe a little bit more so they're under your shoulders. So this is your modified plank. This is your full plank. And this is, well, this is actually dolphin pose. So I say, Kathy, I'm going to invite you, Kathy, to practice on a regular basis and stay in tabletop and come onto your elbows when you need to for your modified plank, because you can do modified plank. I saw you. You can do that on your elbows. Mm-hmm. And I invite you not to do down dog or dolphin. Not until you build the strength to support that pose, right? Okay. We have to have the strength to support the pose. So you have this is your foundation.
Is in this part of my. This is the part of my wrist that hurts on both hands. Mm-hmm. Right in here.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Now, let me just. I'm a cellist. I'm a professional musician. I'm a cellist, so this is a concern for me because that's so. Okay, so I will try those on.
And then also, Kathy, that's amazing that you're a professional cellist. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. Also, they make yoga foam wedges for your wrists. That decreases the angle of your wrists when you're in tabletop, when you're in plank. So take a look at Amazon and check out those. But I think, Kathy, for right now, that your modification when you're in, like imagine I'm in this would be my tabletop, right? You're going to have your arms, you're having your arms here because look at, when they go out here, you lessen the angle of the wrist crease. And then lift your hands up a little higher, and then it will lessen the wrist crease angle.
Got
the
it.
Bend. Yes. And then when that doesn't feel great, right? When that starts to feel uncomfortable, you come down to the elbows. When you're on the elbows, and everybody, maybe we'll do this more, but I'm always a little nervous about people's shoulders when you come on the elbows. You have to make sure the shoulders are away from the ears and that they're back, right? And they're not hunching over. So you have to be very diligent about the form of the shoulders. Does that make sense? Okay. Great questions. Anyone else have any other questions? I can't believe how fast time goes by. Yes, Linda.
I just have a comment for her. I used to have problems with my wrist, and there are little things that you can buy at the drugstore that have a little metal plate inside, and that what it does is it stabilizes the wrist, and you still have the use of your fingers, but it makes it so that your arm, your wrist is not strained. So maybe that might help her.
Yeah. And also, Kathy, I think that you should talk, because you're a professional cellist, I think you should talk to your doctor. I think you should talk, I'm sure you have a doctor for your hands and your wrists. Talk to your doctor and see what your doctor recommends for this as well. Yeah. I think that'd be a great idea. Especially because that's your profession and we don't want to do any damage. So we can try those modifications that we made and maybe don't stay in as long. Come out sooner and be okay with that. That's okay. You have a profession we all have to take care of our bodies, right? So just pace yourself and, talk to your doctor and see what your doctor recommends for braces or something like that, right? I would get that. I would get a doctor's opinion on that, on all of it. All right. Anyone have any other questions? Peg, how did you feel?
I felt good. I feel inadequate at this point, but I'm learning.
Okay. Okay. So we're not going to use words like inadequate.
Peg, give it
No.
up. We never look
Be
like Christina.
positive.
We never look like Christina. We just keep trying.
No,
I'll say this,
no.
Christina,
And we're
that,
not.
I will say this, I have terrible posture. I just do. And this has been really helpful. I'm going to really focus on trying to be taller and stuff because I've had it my whole life and just from laziness. So I'm working on that. That was the best part for me, but I'm going to learn. I'm working on it.
Whoever taught us to stand tall?
Never, except my grandmother.
Oh, your grandmother.
She used to
Oh,
say, hold your hands behind your back and hold your elbows whenever you walk.
the wisdom of grandmothers. Ah, I love that. No one ever told me to stand up tall. What's that? And plus, whenever when you're growing up, or women growing up, becoming adolescents, developing, we grew up like hiding, right? Or I did, at least. It took me a long time. I was 27 years old. I was in a wedding, and I saw a photo of myself at 27 years old. I'm holding the flowers. I have the prettiest dress on. I'm holding the flowers, and I am like this. That was my stand. That's how I walked in the world at 27 years old. And if I didn't see that one photo, it was shocking. And by the way, I did things like yoga. I did all that, but I wasn't that mindful in my 20s, right? I wasn't that connected to my mind, my body, my soul, right? I was just kind of dwelling. Yeah. So I'm always grateful I saw that picture, because my whole career, like you're a professional cellist, Kathy, my whole career I was a hairdresser. So I was always like reaching for, I was always, right? So yeah, it's a lot of mindfulness and diligence to stand tall. And it isn't even like, at first it's so uncomfortable, isn't it? Doesn't it feel awkward? It feels awkward to get your double chin. Whoever says to make yourself a double chin, you don't do that. But it will build strength in the neck muscles and the shoulder muscles, so that our head is more supported, so that we can sit up tall, and the strength of our muscles can support our head comfortably. All right. Anyone else have any questions? I guess my only invitation, Babette, you're funny. My only suggestion would be an invitation, if you will, to take out words like I'm inadequate. Whatever it is, I'm overweight. I'm not good enough, right? Because really all of that negative talk is basically us confirming we're not good enough, right? And if we imagine that our minds are like a garden, right? And we're planting seeds in that garden, what kind of seeds, what do we want to grow? Do we want to grow negative things about ourselves, or do we want things to blossom inside of us that are beautiful and positive and bright and shine a light in the world? So I invite you to think about that. And every time we say things that don't have a positive hue on ourselves, then reformat it, change it up. Let that be our goal for the day. Let's practice that today, right? Spend one day mindfully standing tall as many times as we can think, and then watch our inner dialogue. And imagine if you were raising a little kid, And would you talk to that little kid like that? The way we talk to ourselves inside of our heads, would we talk to another human being like that? And then if not, correct it. All right. Namaste, my friends. I'm with you today. Two more times. We have another yoga for beginners. And then we have strengthen and stretch with slow flow. So there'll be option to have your weights. And yeah, I have a fun sequence planned for us. Any other questions before we end this session? All right. I want to thank Anthony. It was so nice to meet you. Kathy, Peg, I'm glad you're back. It was so nice that you were here. Virginia, you did awesome. So fun to see you holding planks. And I will talk to you all so soon. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste.